the statistics, the numbers that show, the budget of Apple compared to the budget of the Congo, the budget of Apple being almost 4 times the national budget of Congo, where all those resources are being stolen and where African people are being slaughtered and tortured and murdered and forced to work in these mines and African children to make white people and white corporations rich. We have to build this and bring this out to the world and show everyone what SG Loezi has just exposed, and the leadership of the party in leading the struggle to take Africa's resources back into the hands of African people. And we have to build a campaign, make Apple pay reparations, make these big corporations, these big tech giants pay reparations, and Europe and the whole imperialism must pay for the untold brutality and just unspeakable violence that continues right as we speak against African people on the continent and throughout the world. So I want to express my deep unity with that, and also with the call to mobilize for all of the events and campaigns that SG Loezi spoke of. And thank you so much, Secretary General, and there will be time for more discussion. So thank you, SG Loezi, and now Uhuru. And now it is my tremendous honor to bring into this workshop the chair of the African People's Socialist Party in occupied Azania, who was described earlier for his incredible and well-known stance as a revolutionary leader building all throughout the African continent. So it's my honor to bring Chair Tafari Mugeri. Uhuru.
Uhuru, Comrade Jesse, thank you, Comrade. I just want to salute you and all the comrades that pulled this together. I want to congratulate you for an already successful convention. And I just want to take this moment to express appreciation to all the revolutionaries, African revolutionaries, and all the revolutionaries that are in unity with the oppressed. And I want to salute my leadership, Chairman Omali Yeshitela, who is the leader and founder of our movement and party. And I also want to salute SG Luezi, Kinshasa, my leadership, Deputy Chair Onazine Yeshitela, and who are leading us in such a magnificent way, so because the work is developing as you will hear through my presentation, and can be able to witness if you follow the work of the African People's Socialist Party, the USM, APSC, and all the mass organizations of the party and so forth. So I just want to firstly unite with you, Comrade Jesse, in the fact that everything that SG Luezi just presented there, like there's no doubt, there's no excuse. This social system really is a parasitic social system. I think it was Chairwoman Penny on yesterday who mentioned that this is a dialectical process. Everything you see in Europe or in the wide world, even here in South Africa, it comes as a consequence of the loot that Europe has carried out on Africa. And when we say Europe, we mean like the entire white world, and this is what gave birth to this whole social system. So even as I am going to speak about South Africa or the African continent, we are talking about a situation that is part and parcel of an entire world economy that was born through genocide, slavery, colonialism, and is maintained through neocolonialism today. So I just want to firstly say that it's a fact that Africa is not poor. Africa is being looted, as we have seen from the SGUS's presentation. That's what the chairman said. And another thing that the chairman said is that doesn't make sense for any white person to say that I was not there during slavery and so forth, but then you're still enjoying the fruits of slavery, because the whole social system, for it to be maintained, it has to continue sucking the resources, the labor, and just continue exploiting and oppressing people around the world. That's why the United States put so much in the budget in terms of its military activities, the Marines, the Air Force, and all these other military bases that they have all over the world and all over the continent. So it's a parasitic social system. And we also want to say that we are not South Africans. I might be in South Africa here. I am in South Africa because this is what colonialism has created and imposed on us. South Africa was imposed on African people. So I am not a South African. So we reject all the borders that separate us as African people all over the continent. They don't serve us at all. And I want to say this in terms of how we perceive our struggle. Our struggle is not to fix the countries, to say we want to improve the lives of Black people within South Africa, or to make South Africa a better country, or to even say a thing such as we want to liberate South Africa. We're not fighting to liberate South Africa. Our mission is to liberate Africa, and we see South Africa as a negation of Africa, because it was born through the assault on our African continent. Actually, South Africa was born through the Dutch, the settler Dutch, who established themselves in 1652, 1652, I think, through this man called Jan van Riebeeck, and later on, the British coming through and expanding their empire across the world, and even threatening other, imperialist forces and so forth. And they went through a war, the first Anglo-Boer and the second Anglo-Boer, right here. Let's create a union of South Africa, and that's how South Africa was born. And there was no Black person there. There was no African person to decide that, we want South Africa to be there. Actually, it was since 1910, the establishment of South Africa in 1910. It took 84 years for African people to even be considered citizens. Until 1994, African people here could not vote at all. And even with the voting, besides the voting thing, there were only two official languages in South Africa. It was only settler Dutch, that they now call Afrikaans, and English. Everything else was just gibberish. You were just talking. It was not an official language. So today, somehow, our struggle has been defined by the African petty bourgeoisie as really fighting to be more South African than our colonizers. We are told to be proudly South African and so forth, and we continue talking about dismantling the oppressive structures or the legacy of apartheid. And I think Ezulwezi on yesterday just exposed it, that the fact that apartheid was just a form of the colonial or settler colonial state, like the same way with this rainbow nation, or the neo-colonial rainbow nation, so-called democratic state, is just a form of the state, but it's still a colonial state. It was born through the attack on Africa, the domination of African people, the dispossession of Africans, and so forth. That is why today, uh, although white people only constitute like 7% of the population here, but they own more than 70% of the land. Agricultural land and so forth. They own over 70% of the land here in South Africa. So our struggle is a genuine struggle to reclaim our land, to fight for the entire African continent and so forth. So what we have done, since we have defined our struggle being one of liberating Africa and not South Africa, we organize ourselves and extend beyond these colonially imposed borders. We don't recognize them at all. That's why actually we are building in West Africa, in Ghana, in Sierra Leone. We are there in Cote d'Ivoire, Ivory Coast. We're there in Chad. We are also building in East Africa, in Kenya, Tanzania. We're also there in Uganda. And here in Southern Africa, we are building in Swaziland. We are there here in occupied Tanzania, and we'll continue expanding. I'm talking about developments that have occurred through a very short space of time. So you should expect that we should be expanding to other countries. And I just want to say something, comrades. This, when we say we are present in all these other places, we're not talking about just someone identifying with the movement and saying Uhuru, is beyond that. We are building around a strategy. Chairman Omali Shitela has actually mandated all members of the African Socialist Party, the leadership across the world, to carry out the regional strategy, just uniting the economic and the political, because we say the politics and the economic are one. And we are actually doing this in the form of organization. All these places that I've mentioned here, we have the Ghana committee. They have meetings and they're building POAs. We have the Sierra Leone committee. Actually, we have even regional committees across the continent here. In East Africa, we have the East Africa Committee, which addresses um, organizational issues in Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, and everywhere else where we are located. We have the Southern Africa Regional Committee. So this is an actual strategy, because our intention is to govern. We're not talking abstractly about, that's why we're saying our struggle is one that is fighting to overturn colonialism. Because when you want to overturn colonialism, you want to reclaim your own power. So we're fighting to reclaim our own power, but then we don't talk about power in an abstract kind of way. We're talking about actually building an independent African socialist government under the leadership of the African working class through its own advanced detachment, the African People's Socialist Party. So we are preparing to govern. That's what we are doing right now. We are the government waiting, or
Uhuru, 5 minutes.
Uhuru. Thank you, comrade. So I just want to to talk about what we are doing here in Africa in terms of our intention as African people to be free. That's why we are doing this, because we want to be free. That's the main motivation for us to even be here talking, or to have to work through the night, developing POAs or contacting people, or moving around. And we're doing this because we desire to be free. I just want to say something. Growing up, I grew up in the townships, which is where I'm at right now. All you know is that there's no food at night. All you know is that well, I don't really have school uniform. I'll go there to school, and then I just get this poor education. You don't even know why this is happening. And then on the other side, on the white side, at the same time, there is a white ignorance at the same time, consuming everything, enjoying the fridge is full of all this food, but you don't even know where the food is coming from. African people wake up in the morning and then they go and labor. All our resources being looted to go and satisfy the needs of a colonizer population. This is something that we're fighting against right now. So that's why here in Occupied Azania, our work is a work that is built around the strategy. We are building the International People's Democratic Uhuru movement. We are located in terms of branches, 2 provinces. We have 5 branches, and then we have membership across the country. So our intention is to build for power. That is why we are organizing ourselves in this fashion. So I just want to express appreciation for being able to speak on this convention, and say looking forward uh, to the tour the USM is planning later on this year to Europe, and also here to Occupied Azania, because they are a sizable amount of Europeans here, and who claim the land. A lot of them, they do charity work. They come around in the townships, and then they want to donate some shoes, food, and so forth. And then they go back and just just go back to the comfort, of enjoying the loot and so forth. So we want to give political direction, political leadership, even to the white community. That's the plan in terms of the African Socialist Party here in Occupied Azania. So I just want to encourage all the soldiers, the freedom fighters that are here, that we should continue the fight. You know, it's a new world that we are building. Imperialism is crumbling in crisis, and they cannot even hide it right now. So people are gaining confidence, and you better be part of this of the motion, because you know people are gonna take it anyway. So just want to salute everyone and say, all power to the people. Uhuru.
Uhuru, all power to the people, Black power to the African community. Thank you so much, Chairman Tafari Mugeri from Occupied Azania, for that powerful presentation and for your profound leadership in organizing the African Revolution throughout Africa, as well as your call to the white population to get organized under the anti-colonial leadership of the Vanguard Party of the African Revolution. This has been an incredible workshop, and I just want to say I do not envy the timekeepers, because these presentations are riveting, and I know I could listen for hours to these incredible revolutionary African internationalist leaders. And we're so honored to be able to have Secretary General Luwezi Kinshasa and Chairman Tafari Mugeri with us at our national convention. I mean, I think this has elevated this day 2 of the convention to a profound level already. So thank you so much. And next, we're going to go to our comrade Lily, joining us from Marseille, France. Used to be in Oakland, California, a deep supporter of the Uhuru movement, a member of USM, and an organizer. So it is my great honor to introduce to you Lily Uhuru. Uhuru Lily, you're on. We can see and hear you. All right.
Great. Uhuru, everyone. My name is Lily Ehrlich, and I am part of the Uhuru Solidarity Movement. I'm so honored to be here to speak on my experience as a member of this organization. I first want to salute the leader of the African People's Socialist Party, Chairman Omala Yeshitela, and Deputy Chair Ona Zane Yeshitela. I also would like to salute and thank those who just spoke, Luwezi Kinshasa, Secretary General of the African Socialist International, and Tafari Mugeri, Chair of the African People's Socialist Party in Occupied Azania. Thank you so much for your leadership and for your really powerful messages today. Finally, I would like to salute and thank Penny Hess and Jesse Neville for inviting me here today. It's an extreme honor. I'm from California, and I first learned about the Uhuru movement when I moved to Philadelphia, and also again when I moved back to the West Coast. I had the opportunity to volunteer at the Uhuru Furniture location in Oakland, which is one of the 50 economic institutions of the movement that raises money for power, self-determination, and resources for the African working class. It was there that I was introduced to the Uhuru Solidarity movement. I joined while I was still living in Oakland, and I am now speaking to you from my new home in Marseille, France. Just because I had the opportunity and privilege to leave America with all of its problems doesn't mean that my work stops here. France and all European powers are not exempt, in fact, extremely culpable and complicit in the violence and harm that they have inflicted in the past and continue to perpetuate to this day. The colonizer state news source has said that the former French colonies in Africa have celebrated over 60 years of independence, but can we even say that they're actually free? Africa has paid up to 65% of their foreign exchange reserves into the French treasury. France still has access to resources in Africa, as clearly seen in Luwezi's video, as well as access to markets and a heavy military presence. We also can't ignore the fact that France demanded from Haiti, or Haiti, the equivalent of $21 billion in today's money for their so-called freedom as a sovereign republic. Imagine successfully uprising and fighting to escape being enslaved just to be met with a large bill from your oppressor for what they have lost. This is truly a global issue. This is why, no matter where we live, we must fight to return the stolen wealth, to push for resources for Black power and self-determination. This is why we as white people need to stand in solidarity with the Uhuru movement, to push forward in the fight to demand for what's right. Since arriving in France a little over 2 months ago, I have taken the time to spread information about the Uhuru Solidarity movement, to hand out flyers and post posters, as Jesse mentioned, about this conference, as seen here. I've also had help from a comrade in Paris to do the same. It really feels important for me to take this opportunity while I'm living in France to gain more participation for this movement worldwide. Moving forward with the Uhuru
2
Solidarity
minutes.
movement now in France, my plan is to gain your participation and to start having meetings here to carry out an actual strategy to truly organize under the leadership of the African People's Socialist Party. This is when we hold ourselves and other people accountable to demand reparations from the ruling class. I really just want to emphasize that we need to show up and organize in solidarity and to win other white people here in Europe to understand why we are here and what we are doing. What's really important to note is that this is a way to be a part of concrete change to help return the power and the stolen wealth back to the African community. We are given the opportunity as white people under the leadership of the African working class to really make a difference. If you have felt like you don't know what to do, but are overwhelmed by what you are seeing done to the colonized peoples of the world, this is your chance to have the opportunity to help create change for the well-being of those who have been oppressed for so long, to step away from benefiting from the existence of the colonizer nations as white people. The African working class does not have the option to sit back during the struggle, so why should we? We must use our resources, our voices, and our actions to make a revolutionary difference for the well-beings of all peoples. As white people, we need to take action. It's inhumane to live at the expense of other people, and if we don't step forward and away from this, then what can we really do? We can move forward together with the Uhuru Solidarity movement, and as Chairman Amalia Shatella emphasizes, to move beyond the protest and to take action. I want to acknowledge and thank you all who are here watching for being open, for being curious, and for being ready to participate in what is a revolutionary and historical moment. And once again, to quote the chairman, if you are concerned with peace, you must fight for it. A real desire for peace is a desire for social justice and reparations. Thank you so much.
Uhuru, wow. That was so on point. Thank you so much, Comrade Lily, joining us from Marseille. And I want to give a shout out to Elizabeth in the chat who says, I live in Berlin and I am interested. So, okay, USM Berlin is coming soon. Thank you so much, Elizabeth, for your interest in making this happen. This has been such a great panel. And now I'd just like to bring back on Chairwoman Penny Hess for any last remarks you'd like to make on this workshop? Uhuru.
Uhuru, just really appreciate the wow, these presentations. It's a great honor to have had the leadership of Secretary General Luwezi Kinshasa and Chairman Tafari Mugeri, who just talked about the brilliant work and made it very clear that the struggle led by the African People's Socialist Party is a struggle for power, to self-govern, to take Africa back over into the hands of the African working class, and to overturn these brutal colonial conditions that slaughter African people every single day and provide the wealth for white people everywhere. So I also want to salute Comrade Lily. Wow, what a great presentation, Comrade. Just really, I'm so excited and about the work that you did and coordinated postering. I wish we had a picture, we have some pictures of that, and I wish we'd had them on a little PowerPoint so people could see, putting up the poster calling for, in French, for this, for white people to come to participate in this this event and convention this weekend. Also, just want to say that, yes, Elizabeth, who's in the chat saying that she lives in Berlin. I just want to say that Chairman Amalia Shatella and SG Luwezi have spoken in Berlin several times, including the chairman spoke at Humboldt University at least twice, maybe 3 times. And just a powerful reception from African people, also from the Roma community and colonized people there. It's very, very powerful, and we have to win among the white people of Berlin. That is a very well, you know how it is. We have to take on the struggle. We have to win white people that, to understand this colonial question and our relationship to it and our responsibility for reparations. So I'm looking forward to this. I know there's other people. We're going to build this committee. We're going to be all over Europe. We're going to fight to make the Paris pay reparations, to make City of London pay reparations, and the Amsterdam stock market pay reparations, and the people, white people who have lived off the backs of African people for centuries, and also very excited about building on the continent of Africa this year under the leadership of the African People's Socialist Party, Chairman Tafari, as Secretary General Luwezi, and forward with unity through reparations, Uhuru. I don't know if we're having Q&A or are we over? Yeah.
Uhuru. Yeah. Thank you, Chairwoman Penny. This is actually the end of the panel. I do want to acknowledge that Mara said in the chat that she's planning to go to France in the fall and wants to link up with Lily to build a day of reparations to African people, and also has a friend in Italy who would like to be involved. So great. All right. African internationalism is going to sweep the white community of Europe. And just really want to salute this amazing panel. We are going to move on, so I'll turn it back over to Jamie, and we have one more workshop, and then we have another discussion period. So thank you for this powerful panel, and salute to SG Luwezi, Chair Tafari, Chairwoman Penny, and Comrade Lily. Uhuru.
Uhuru. Wow, comrades, what an absolutely riveting panel. I'm sure I speak for everyone in the convention today. We are going to build the Uhuru Solidarity Movement worldwide. So just want to give a big salute to the leadership of the African People's Socialist Party and the African Socialist International, building in Africa, Europe, and throughout the world. So next, we're going to go to a very important workshop. Our theme for this convention is organization, organization, organization. So to take us into the nuts and bolts of what it means to build organization, we are going to have a workshop on building the membership and branches of USM, led by Ali Aiello, the APSC Western Regional Chair and National Chair of Membership for the Uhuru Solidarity Movement. Please welcome Ali and the URMO office members for the workshop entitled Reparations Through Organization.
Uhuru, Comrade Jamie, thank you for introducing this workshop. Like Jamie said, my name is Ali Aiello. I'm the membership coordinator for the Uhuru Solidarity Movement. And I just want to take a second to just really appreciate and salute that incredible presentation that was just given by Secretary General Luwezi, by Chairman Tafari, Chairwoman Penny, Chair Jesse, and Lily. That was just absolutely incredible, and that should really mobilize and inspire all of our comrades here today to want to get organized, to want to take a stand, to go beyond, just being a member of the Uhuru Solidarity Movement, and to really want to build the movement for reparations to African people in your city. So I just really want to appreciate that presentation before I get started. And like Jamie said, I'm here with members of the International Recruitment and Membership Office to talk to you today about reparations through organization, building USM membership and branches. So I'm really thrilled. I'm really thrilled to be able to be here with all of you today to talk to you about that. And I do have some slides if the AV team wants to go ahead and share those. We can start that now. Okay, cool. I see them. There they are. Okay, great. So yes, reparations through organization, building USM membership and branches. And that's our theme. That's what we're going to be doing, building organization and branches. So next slide. Okay, so I want to start off this presentation by saluting the chairman of the African People's Socialist Party and leader of the International African Revolution, Chairman Omale Yeshitela. It's chairman's brilliant theory of African internationalism that allows us as white people to see the world through the eyes of the African working class and colonized people around the world. You know, it's African internationalism that allows us to see our role as the colonizer in the parasitic colonial capitalist system. And also that gives us a concrete way that we can overturn it, that we can understand the world, we can understand what's happening today. And I just really appreciate and salute the chairman's leadership and, you know, the ability for us as white people to be able to take a stand against the colonial conditions that we see you know, inside the US, and then also, you know, what we just saw in that last presentation. So Uhuru and salute to Chairman Omale Yeshitela. Next slide. And I want to salute Deputy Chair Ona Zinea Yeshitela, the leader of the independent anti-colonial African economy. As you saw in the presentation yesterday, this is not just something, revolution is not just something that the party talks about. There is actual work happening on the ground. And that can be seen through over the 50 institutions and organizations that Deputy Chair leads. So Uhuru and salute to Deputy Chair Ona Zinea Yeshitela. Next slide. I want to salute the African People's Solidarity Committee Chairwoman, Penny Hess, who has been fighting for the stance of reparations for over 45 years under the leadership of the African People's Socialist Party, and has been working all the time to build the movement of white solidarity with Black power. So Uhuru and salute to Chairwoman Penny Hess. Next slide. And of course, I want to salute the Uhuru Solidarity Movement Chair, Jesse Neville. Jesse is my direct leadership as the membership coordinator for USM, provides so much leadership to this committee, and is an incredible revolutionary leader as well to all the work in USM. So Uhuru and salute to Chair Jesse Neville. Next slide. And I also want to take an opportunity to salute Vice Chair Amanda Carlozzi for all of her leadership, her work as the National Treasurer as well, and you know, even in coordinating this Uhuru Solidarity Movement National Convention. So I really want to give a huge salute to Vice Chair Amanda. Next slide. And I want to introduce you to my amazing International Recruitment and Membership Office. I am so thrilled to have all of these comrades who I have the honor of being able to work with in the International Recruitment and Membership Office. And it's kind of, you know, newly formed. We've always had an office, and some people have been in it longer than others, but you know, this is where we're at right now, and I'm so thrilled about it. So it's myself as the chair. We have Henry in Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, who is our URMO secretary. We have Laura in Michigan, who is our NTU volunteer coordinator, which is a huge role. We have Alana in Panama, who is over the weekly newsletter, which all of you hopefully get in your inbox every Monday, keep you up to date with what we have going on in not just in the Uhuru Solidarity Movement, but in the Uhuru movement at large. We have Janet Van Fleet. Janet has been a dedicated member of the membership office for a couple of years now, and she's the one who sends out the thank you cards, who you get a card with when you upgrade, renew your membership, make an amazing contribution of reparations. So I want to salute and appreciate Janet in Seattle. We have Comrade Len, who has been over the North, who has represented the North regional membership, and also plays, you know, other roles in the membership office. So want to salute and appreciate Comrade Len. We have Mara, who helps out with the volunteer. Mara's in Boston. We have Mara, who helps out on Laura's team, on the NTU volunteer team, with follow-up calls to new volunteers, helps to lead orientations, really dynamic force in this office. And as well as Comrade Jackson Hollingsworth, who plays a role on the newsletter team and does the proofreading for our newsletters, make sure that it sounds good, looks good, all the links work, because we want everyone to get the very best newsletter. So really appreciate and salute all of these forces who make up the International Recruitment and Membership Office. Next slide. And now I want to salute our powerful new members that we won this year. And I'm going to go through just briefly, talk about some of the new members that we got this year. And I know that many people are going to be like, what? These people only joined this year. But that's because so many of them had made such an impact on the work of the Uhuru Solidarity Movement over the last year. And like I said, they just joined this year, and we want to recognize them for the role that these active members have played in an organization. So next slide. So the first one on this list is Comrade Len. Len is based out of Philadelphia, is now a member of the African People's Solidarity Committee. And what doesn't Len do? To be honest, Len plays a huge role in the Reparations Legacy Project Donor Development and Outreach Committee. Is a huge part of the North region, like I said, membership building in Philadelphia, on the local level in Philadelphia, and just wears many hats, takes on many responsibilities. And Len only joined for the first time at the Uhuru Solidarity Movement National Convention last year. So what a dynamic force to have as part of the Uhuru Solidarity Movement, and really want to recognize and salute Comrade Len. Next slide. Next, we have Laura Brown, who's in Michigan. And Laura actually met us in Reno last year, and got out there, did an outreach table, and has continued to work, and is now the NTU volunteer coordinator, which is a huge role in USM, bringing in many new volunteers. And really want to salute and recognize Laura. Uhuru to Laura. Next slide. Then we have Eva. Eva is in Pittsburgh. Eva brings so much to the Reparations Legacy Project and to the work building in Pittsburgh as well. She also leads the Art for Reparations Committee. And Eva actually held a volunteer day of drops when we started our first day of drops, and brought out 10 new volunteers. She grabbed 10 of her friends. We were like, we're going out and we're distributing literature for the Uhuru Solidarity Movement National Convention and Make Wall Street Pay Reparations. Fantastic organizer, brings so much creativity to the work of the Uhuru Solidarity Movement. Next slide. Sarah, Comrade Sarah in Minneapolis. We met Sarah at the March for Reparations in Minneapolis, and Sarah is an extraordinarily powerful comrade on the Reparations Legacy Project team. Also played an important role on the program committee for the Uhuru Solidarity Movement National Convention. Is part of the Midwest. Is part of the Midwest Regional Committee, and just a really solid, consistent force that we can count on. So I really want to salute and recognize Sarah. And Sarah is always down for revolution. From the first time we met her, she was like, yes, this is what I was looking for. So I really want to salute and welcome Comrade, and appreciate Comrade Sarah. Next slide. Mary has been part of building a work in Philadelphia. She has participated in outreach tables with Comrade Len, and selling the Burning Spear newspaper, and not even a bit shy about it. And most recently, convention, she's also that was in big part of the March for Reparations that was in St. Louis this past year. Excuse me. So yeah, Amy has just been a really steady, consistent force in St. Louis, and just want to put her forward for all the work that she brings to the table. So Claude, I really want to appreciate Claude for. So she was originally in San Diego, and now is in Oakland, and I'm so honored to be able to organize with her on a regular basis on the ground doing outreach. Claude is known for her outreach work and her incredible ability to talk to the people. I had asked Kristen, and I was like, Kristen, how, Kristen Forthen, who I actually just want, who I actually just want, I'll recognize her in a second, but Kristen used to be part of the West Regional membership, and I asked Kristen, how are we getting so many people at the outreach every single day? She's out there talking to the people. I was like, wow, that is incredible, and that's a stance one to be emulated. So really want to salute her. And now she's up here in Oakland. She plays an important role on the social media team with Uhuru Foods, and just a really dynamic organizer. So Uhuru, salute to Comrade Kade. And next slide. Then we have Colin. Colin lives in New York, and Colin joined this year and has been Eliza. So we met Eliza at the demonstration for George, at a demonstration that the African People's Socialist Party had for around the murder of George Floyd. And Eliza came out, and I was talking to Eliza, and she told me she just moved down to St. Petersburg, Florida, from Asheville, or maybe hadn't just moved down, but used to own a pie shop in Asheville. And immediately we told Janice, and Janice started working with her, and now Eliza is an important force in the Uhuru Foods and Pies work. And also, comes out to demonstrations. She was seen at the March for Reparations with her box of Uhuru Foods and Pies, cookies, selling cookies, and really important piece in the St. Pete work. So I want to salute and recognize Eliza. Next slide. And now next one is Henry. Like I said, Henry is the secretary of the USM membership office, newly appointed secretary. And Henry actually met us through the Uhuru Furniture Store in Philadelphia. Was a volunteer with Uhuru Furniture over the summer, or at some point, and then came and joined the Uhuru Solidarity Movement. Has been a really powerful force in helping to build the North region, and then came on as the Uhuru Solidarity membership secretary, and you'll get to hear from him later today as well. So Uhuru to Comrade Henry. Next slide. Lisa. Okay, so Lisa's in San Francisco, and Lisa joined. She joined just recently, like this past December, and she found out about us through she first found out about us through Comrade Kitty's daughter, and then she met the movement, and she started volunteering with the Uhuru Foods and Pies on that famous day where Uhuru Foods sold 1,000 pies or baked 1,000 pies for the Curry Foundation, and she volunteered with that. And then signed up, was like, I want to be part of the reparations work. And so she signed up for a Uhuru Solidarity Movement orientation. I got the chance to speak with her, and now she's the outreach coordinator of our USM Oakland branch. And there's Lisa doing outreach, making it happen. So I want to salute and appreciate Lisa. Next slide. Erica is also a comrade in Oakland, California. Erica played Erica met us through the Uhuru Furniture, or not Uhuru, the Uhuru Health Festival that was held in Oakland maybe a year or two back, a couple of years ago. And then, there was a demonstration around, there was our Global Day of Action that USM did in early June of last year. And Erica called the USM phone number and was like, I heard there's a demonstration going on. I want to be a part of it. And she came out and was a part of it. And then when I called her and told her that we were starting up the USM Oakland branch, she was like, okay, yes, I want to be a part of it. She's been doing outreach since the first day. This was the first outreach table that we did in Oakland. Is super consistent for us, very creative, and it's really great to be able to work with her. So salute to Erica. Next slide. Jesse is a member in Baltimore, and he is a powerful force building on the ground in Baltimore. Actually found out about us first through the 2017 electoral campaigns down in St. Petersburg, Florida. And I know, he's just been a consistent part of building in the North region. So want to salute and appreciate Comrade Jesse, and has also brought new forces to orientation as well. So is working to recruit in his area. Next slide. Valerie is in Colorado. Valerie was part of the Portland Day of Reparations Portland March for Reparations, this past year. And Valerie also played an important role on the phone banking team, for the USM National Convention, and is a very enthusiastic force, and excited to work with her more in the West region to build in Colorado, where she now is. Next slide. Danielle actually met us through Comrade Johan. Really want to salute and appreciate Johan, who introduced Danielle to the Uhuru Solidarity Movement, member in St. Petersburg, Florida. Really has a lot of unity, and was part of our branch there, and still is part of our branch there, taking on a reparations challenge. Read the Burning Spirit newspaper, and is just a really solid force. So I want to salute and appreciate Comrade Danielle. And I'm pretty sure this weekend is her birthday weekend. So happy birthday to Danielle. And yeah, appreciate this, comrade. Next slide. Pamela is in Minneapolis. And as you heard yesterday, is part of the website team for the Reparations Legacy Project. It also has been part of building the movement in Minneapolis, was part of the Minneapolis March for Reparations. It's taken on a few different roles, so really want to salute and appreciate Pamela for all of her work as she contributes. Next slide.